I found them shivering on the front steps, my father bent over, my mother's thin hands trembling as she clutched his arm. Their faces were pale, their lips bluish. They had been locked out of my house. My house. And behind the door, I could hear laughter, glasses clinking, my in-laws celebrating as though they owned the place. That was the moment I stopped being their silent victim. That was the moment I decided none of them would leave untouched. I met her when I was still young, still foolish enough to mistake charm for kindness. She smiled like she meant every word she spoke. Her parents treated me as if I had been blessed to marry into their better bloodline. I tolerated their arrogance because I thought love was enough. I bought the house with my own money. Years of work, sleepless nights, and careful saving. And still, her family walked into it as though they'd built it brick by brick. They placed their pictures on my walls, their shoes in my hallway. I swallowed it all, until I couldn't anymore. It started small. She laughed at me with them, never with me. Their family dinners became strategy sessions, ways to bend me, to silence me. My parents, old and fragile, were treated as outsiders in my own living room. Then came the moment I couldn't ignore. I walked in late one evening to find my wife pouring whiskey for her father in my chair, while my mother stood outside the door, tray in her hand, waiting to be let in. My chest went cold. That's when I knew it wasn't carelessness, it was design. Rage would have been easy. But rage doesn't dismantle empires, silence does. So I said nothing. I nodded. I smiled. And behind the mask, I began. First, the papers. Every property, every account, every asset, we had joint names. I moved them, slowly, piece by piece, into mine alone. The lawyer I hired was invisible, discreet, and loyal only to money, my money. Second, the house. The deed was mine, but I wanted proof carved in stone. I filed the transfer quietly. By the time they realized, the walls around them legally belonged to me and me alone. Third, their pride. I collected everything. Receipts of their spending, recordings of their insults, witnesses to their arrogance. I built a file thick enough to choke them. And then came that night. I returned to find my parents trembling outside while the celebration roared within. My wife's brother had been promoted. They toasted under my roof while my father coughed in the cold. I didn't knock. I didn't rage. I walked in. The music stumbled into silence. Eyes turned. My wife smiled nervously, her parents stiffening in their seats. "Why are your parents outside?" I asked. Calm. Too calm. No one answered. I placed the folder on the table. "Since you enjoy living in this house," I said, "you'll enjoy reading how little of it belongs to you." One by one, I laid down the documents. Property deed, bank statements, audio recordings of their voices sneering about my parents. Their laughter turned to silence, their silence to fear. Her father puffed up, trying to shout me down. I pressed play on a recording, his own voice, mocking my mother, calling her dead weight. The sound filled the room like poison. He shut his mouth. Her mother tried next, spinning words about family and misunderstanding. I slid forward the receipts. Vacations paid from accounts she didn't know I controlled. Finally, my wife. Her eyes searched me for softness. I gave her none. "You locked my parents outside in the cold," I said. "Tonight, you lock yourselves out forever." I had already prepared. The locks were changed, their names erased from every joint account, their cards deactivated, their roots pulled out, strand by strand. Security arrived within minutes, my order, not theirs. The guards stood firm as my in-laws argued, begged, cursed. They were ushered out into the same night they had left my parents in. I didn't raise my voice once. My wife lingered, eyes wet, waiting for me to soften. I only pointed to the door. Your family chose their celebration over mine, I said. Now they can celebrate losing everything. She left without another word. The whispers spread quickly. Neighbors, relatives, business circles, everyone heard the story. Not because I shouted it, but because silence breeds curiosity, and documents don't lie. Their family's name shrank overnight. Invitations dried up. Respect turned to ridicule. As for me, I sat at my table with my parents, warm inside the house that was mine again. They asked if I regretted it. I only shook my head. They thought betrayal would break me. They thought cruelty toward the ones I loved would go unanswered. But I don't raise my voice. I don't throw punches. I take everything quietly, patiently, until the moment I take it all back. And I did, completely.